Hey folks, Maverick Watch Reviews back here with another watch for you today. Today we have the Seiko Coutura 100 meter radio sync solar chronograph, model number SSG009. And as usual, we'll open it up, look at the fit and finish, the features and the functions, the build quality, and then I'll give you my overall impressions of this brand new solar chronograph from Seiko. You're all accustomed to the standard Seiko watch box here. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. And you're also accustomed to all the paperwork that comes with any Seiko. So you're looking at your instruction manual and of course your warranty card, which is back there. So there you go, you've seen this a million times. Let's get all this boring stuff out of the way here. Let's talk about this watch. All right. Now what I'll do on the left-hand side of the screen, I'll go ahead and put all the basic specs, and then we'll go a little more into detail and talk about this thing. You're looking at a 45mm case. It's 15mm thick. It's on a 26mm bracelet, which actually tapers down. And Boris, don't bug me about the lug-to-lug specs, because I just don't know. It's also 100 meters water resistant, which is 330 feet. It has a brand new 8B92 movement inside. Of course, it's solar powered. You get a 6-month power reserve. It also has a power save function, which means after 72 hours, basically the watch shuts down both of the hands. It keeps keeping internal time, but it stops the motors for the hands. It has overcharge prevention, so you can't overcharge this watch. It does have a date function over there. It looks like it at about 5 o'clock, I believe, maybe 4 o'clock. It has a 24-hour indicator. That's over at the 3 o'clock. It has a screw-down crown, which is interesting for a watch. It's not a dive watch. So it does have a screw-down crown. That's kind of nice. It has a very interesting glass case back, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. It has a cabochon crown, which basically means it has a jeweled crown. It doesn't have any facets on it. Basically, it's a fake polished jewel over here at the crown. I mean, this is a dress watch, so it's not unusual to see this type of crown, what they're calling a cabochon, and I'll put that spelling at the bottom of the screen for you. It's not unusual to see this type of crown on a dress watch. It does have a sapphire crystal, which I definitely appreciate in the watch in this price range. And it has LumiBrite on the hands and only the hands. There are no LumiBrite markings on the indexes, which is really rather odd. And I'll go ahead and show you that later as well. So it's an interesting watch. It's brand new. It's from the Seiko Coutura line. It's a very well-made watch. It's very blingy. It's got a lot of polished areas on it. I mean, it's a good looking watch. I'll have to give Seiko that. But the problem is that it's so blingy. Everything is faceted. The indexes, the hands, I mean, everything. It's so shiny and so blingy. It almost makes it hard at first glance to tell what time it is. That's really my only gripe with this watch so far, is the fact that it's so shiny, so faceted, it's a little bit hard to tell the time. And of course, the subdials are a little bit smaller than my liking, but that's just a personal preference. It's also very slippery, believe it or not. It's like this thing is coated in Teflon or something. It's very slippery. I know these are kind of odd observations / complaints, but it's just very slippery in the hands. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's like I'm holding the bottom of a non-stick pan or something. It's very weird how slippery this thing is. It does have a really interesting looking glass case back. Instead of having sort of laser etching back there, that's just a kind of a polished glass case back with the Seiko logo in the middle. Interesting. I mean, a nice little, classy dress touch, I guess, if that's what you're going for. Interesting. The bracelet itself looks like a transformer skeleton. It's very, very futuristic looking. Again, for some reason, odd reason, very slippery. Very futuristic looking. I mean, I like the overall design. It's just the fact that the watch is almost slipping out of my hands. Again, I'm not quite sure why there's a screw-down crown on a 100-meter rated watch, but hey, Seiko wants to do that. That's fine. The actual dial of the watch, I mean, it's good looking. Again, it's real blingy looking. You do have applied indexes. You have applied Seiko logo. You have that nice bold blue 6 o'clock index there for the chronograph function. Interesting, of course, you have all the different time zones around the world. This is a what they call a sync watch. Is basically, it's an atomic watch. And I don't know if you can see this or not. If you look right underneath the 9 o'clock index, you'll see, I can't see what that says, WWBV, I believe. Anyway, it's going to show you the different time zones for the different atomic clocks around the world. There's one in China, which is, I think, I can't read it, BPC. The other one's in Japan, which is JJY. And there's a marking up here, it looks like at right past 1, I can't see what that says, but that's the German atomic clock. So you're looking at 4 different atomic clocks around the world. And obviously, you know, I'm on the East Coast of the United States, so this is going to sync with the Colorado clock. And that Colorado clock is actually the clock for all of the United States. Every atomic clock in the United States is going to sync with that. I mean, I'm sorry, every atomic watch in the United States is going to sync with that atomic clock in Colorado. Then, of course, when you go overseas, over in Europe, they're all going to sync with Germany. And over in Asia, they're either going to sync with Japan or the one in China. So, excuse me, interesting little piece of information there. And I'm sure nobody would have known what those are just by looking at them. But those are the 4 atomic clocks around the world. So there you go. I like let's talk a little bit more about the bracelet. I like this upgraded clasp here with the signed Seiko logo there. I like it, but I'm a little bit worried that it doesn't give as much security as a regular clasp where you click it down and then you have another piece of the clasp that folds over and you click that down. So I like the look of it. And of course, with it being a dress watch, they upgraded all the materials and everything with this watch. I like the way it looks. I'm just not really super pleased with the security factor. I would like another clasp to fold over this one. So that's just, personal preference. The hands, they move really slow. And let me show you something. Let me start the stopwatch function. And you'll see it's ticking off normally, but when you want to reset it, the second hand goes back really slow. It's not as fast as any of the Citizens that I've seen, any of the Citizen atomic watches. The hands just move a little bit slow for my taste. The cool thing is about this watch is that it automatically gets your time reading at night. It'll automatically check at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and it'll automatically update itself. You can also manually initiate an update just by pressing and holding up here at the 10 o'clock button. And if you'll see, the little hand over there at 9 o'clock, the subdial, it goes to 9 o'clock. The hand inside the subdial goes to 9 o'clock. And right now it's trying to get the atomic signal. And I don't know if it'll do it or not. It's at night, so it's much better to do this at night. My guess is it's probably not going to do that since it's not late at night. It's best to do this right around midnight or a little bit after, a couple hours after. And if it gets the signal, it'll point to Y, which is yes. If it doesn't, it'll go to N, which is no, right there. Either Y, and it looks like it is trying to get the signal. It's actually pointing to L, which means it's getting a low signal, not a very strong signal. So it is actually trying to get the signal, which is good. I tried this around 12 o'clock this afternoon, and it just immediately pointed to the N, which is for no. But being at nighttime, it actually might get the signal. So we'll just have to kind of look at it and see if that hand eventually ends up pointing to yes, which is the Y. Then that lets you know that it actually received the signal. Again, like I said, this automatically updates itself at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock in the morning. What you're going to do is you're going to want to leave the watch near a window and have the watch antenna, which is actually over here between these two pushers, have this antenna pointing west. So if you can find a window in your house or apartment that's pointing west, leave it in that windowsill at night, and I can almost guarantee you will get radio reception. This isn't a satellite watch, so you'll get satellite reception. But for some reason, just during the day, there's so much interference during the day in the air, with all the airwaves, radio waves, TV, all that good stuff. It's just much better for this to do this at night. Plus, when this bounces off, the signal will bounce off the ionosphere to reach the radio tower in Colorado. There's just much less interference at night to get these radio signals. So they can say this takes up to 12 minutes to get the signal. Now, if you had a satellite watch, like the Citizen Satellite Wave that I have, I think that takes a maximum of like 3 seconds. It's just crazy fast. So I think this is Seiko's first foray into a solar-powered atomic watch. They have a couple different models of this. And I like this one, but I think that the Prospex SSG009, and I'll put a picture of that up on the left-hand side of the screen for you. I think that's just a much better looking, much more readable version of this watch. All the same specs and technology, features and functions than this one. I just think it's just a much better looking version of this, much more readable. It's also 100 meters water resistant. It has basically the exact same features that this Coutura does. But again, just, you know, I like the Prospex line. It's more utilitarian. It's more of a tool watch. Has all the same specs this thing does. So what else here? Trying to think, anything else I missed? I'm not going to worry about this getting the signal because I think it's just going to take too long. Yeah, it's still trying to get the signal because the hand's still pointed to L, which means it's receiving a lower quality signal, not quite as strong. Now, if it had pointed to H, it probably would have gone to yes and probably, you know, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 seconds after that. But because it's still trying to pull the signal in, I'm betting it's probably going to point to no when it gets done. Again, it can take 12 minutes for it to do it. So I'm just not going to wait because I don't want to wait that long. Anyway, so pushers, they should have had some sort of grip on the end of these pushers. Yeah, again, really slippery. I guess they don't because this is a dress watch. This is not really a utilitarian, you know, tool watch. So anyway, try to give you some more pictures of it here, some more angles. Let's go ahead and try this thing on real quick. And it looks great on the wrist, but again, especially on a bright day, if you're out in the sun and you're looking right down at it, I mean, you can see, look how, I mean, it's going crazy with all the bling. Just a lot of bling going on there. But I mean, it looks good. It looks good on the wrist, I have to say. Good looking watch. A lot of polished areas, tons and tons and tons of polished areas here. So let's go ahead and check out this lume. And I'm going to have to tell you up front, you're going to be disappointed because the lume on this thing, it's pretty pathetic. You can see it right there. But let me go ahead and zap it with the mag light here. And I don't know why they didn't apply the lume on all of the indexes and the hands, but it just has lume on just the hands and then a little pip at the 12 o'clock index. All the rest of the indexes have absolutely no lume on them, which is just very weird. It has it on the stopwatch hand, and I'll go ahead and push that. You can see it. You'll see it going. And then, of course, it has it on your hour and minute hand, and then at the 12 o'clock pip. I don't know why they didn't put them on the rest of the hands. Anyway, not quite sure why Seiko did that, but it is what it is, right? So anyway, you can get these things for about $450 on Amazon. Personally, I think that's a little overpriced for this watch. You can get, you know, much cheaper atomic watches from Casio, from Citizen. I mean, I know it's, you know, you're getting the sapphire crystal. It's upgraded materials. It's more of a fashion watch. It's got this glass case back, but I still think that's a little expensive, even though this is a Seiko Coutura, which is, you know, basically a higher level of Seiko watch. I like the way it looks, but it's just got too many problems for me. So there you go. Anyway, if you like this video, please click on like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. I actually just hit 1 million total views a couple days ago, so I'm really excited. And I can't tell y'all enough how much I appreciate y'all subscribing to my channel. It really does mean a lot to me. It means hopefully it means I'm doing a good job, and I'm bringing you the watches that you want to see. And again, if you have any other watch that you want me to review, please put that in the comment section, and I'll try to review that watch for you. But anyway, again, this has been the Seiko Coutura 100 meter radio sync solar chronograph, model number SSG009. And until the next review, I will see y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.